Hey guys, welcome back to my channel Braille Programming. How are you all? Hope you are doing well and in good health. So in this video I am going to teach you FS Module of Nodejs. So let's get started. You might be wondering what is FS Module in Nodejs. So the full form of FS Module is File System Module. This helps you to perform the task related to file system in Node.js. You have two ways of performing tasks related to file system. First is synchronous, second is asynchronous. Synchronous functions. So in synchronous functions follows the block execution of the program. What this block execution means? This runs the next block once the previous block has been executed. So once you get the result of your previous block, your next block will be executed. If you are using the result of the previous block in the next block, it will not give you any errors and it will run your code perfectly. But the asynchronous functions do not follow the block system. This means that they execute the commands after the previous command, even if the result has not been computed. So if you are creating any file in your previous command, you are updating that in your next command, so it will give you some errors because creating file may take some time. So your update function will run before creating the file, so it will give you error. This is theoretical explanation of asynchronous and synchronous functions. Let's do some practical stuff. Let me create an index.js file. So in order to import FS module, it's same as importing other modules, as const fs equals to require. You simply need to call require function and fs. Yeah, that's it. Your module has been imported. FS is also a core module of Node.js, so you don't need to install it separately. There are lots of methods and properties inside FS module. First of all, we will learn synchronous operations. We will do curd operation in synchronous way. Curd means create, read, update and delete. This will create a file, read a file, update a file as well as delete the file. So in order to create a file using synchronous way, you need to call a function which is create file sync, and this function is an object is inside FS module. So fs dot create fs dot write file fs dot write file sync. So fs dot write file sync. Yeah, this function takes three parameters. So the first is the name of the file we want to create. I will type test.txt. The second parameter is the content of the file. So I will type test content here, test content, or I will simply type subscribe to the program. So the third parameter of this function is a callback function, which has an access of error. So here I will type console. If there is any error, it will give me a console.log error. So it will log the error. So let's run the code. Node index.js, and there is no errors, and your file has been created successfully. We have done with our first operation, which is create. Moving to our next operation, which is reading file. In order to read file, we need to call a function called fs.readFileSync. This takes two parameters. First parameter is the file name, which is text.txt, and the second parameter is an object containing encoding, which is the encoding of your file. So that's UTF-8, and the flag, I think it's optional. If you will not write the flag, will work. So yeah, it works. in order to get the data, you need to store this function inside a variable. So const data equals to fs.read file, and I will simply log the data. Yeah, as you can see, it's returning me the data present inside the text.txt. So we have done with our read operation. Before we move to our next operation, there is one more property here, which is flag. It's totally optional. If you want to assign the flag variable, you can. So there is which you need to assign it as R. So it's in my case it's R, and in your case it might be different. So I will use flag R, yeah, like this. So it's optional. If you want, you can use it. If you don't want, you can just use encoding, and it will give you the output. If you don't use the encoding as well, you will get the output, but in the buffer way. So you will get the output in buffer state. So I will run the code, and that's the buffer of my data present in the text.txt. So you need to specify the encoding of your file to get the particular data of your file, and let's save that, and let's run the code. That's done. We are done with our read files with synchronous way. So our next operation is updating. In order to update a file, you need to call a function called fs.append_file sync, and this takes the first parameter as the file name. The first parameter is the file name, so in my case it's text.txt, and the second parameter is the updated value of your file. So I want to update it to like and share, this video. So let me run the code first. As you can see, in the text.txt, it has updated my file, and it's added the text which I have added here as the second parameter. So we have done with our update file as well. So we have done with our update file operation as well. So our next operation is deleting the file using synchronous way. So in order to delete a file using synchronous way, you have a function available in FS module, which is fs.unlinksync. This takes the file name as a parameter. So I will do the file called text.txt, and let me run the code. As you can see here, it has deleted my text.txt. So we have done with our CURD operation using synchronous way. Now we will use the asynchronous way to do the CURD operation. So now we will use the asynchronous way to perform CURD operation. So first, creating a file using asynchronous way. So we have a function called fs.writeFile. In synchronous way, we were using a function called writeFileSync, and in asynchronous way we are using writeFile function. So this takes the first parameter as the file name, and second parameter as the content of the file, and it has the third parameter of callback having access of error. So let's create a file called text2.txt, and the second parameter is testing. The second parameter is the content of your file. So I am writing it testing, and the third parameter is callback function with access of error. So use console.log error. Yeah, so let's run the code. As you can see, it's returning me null, and it has created the file as well. Why it's returning me null? Because there is no error while creating the file. If I make some mistakes here, if I do something like this, so then it will return me the error. And if I do not make any mistake here, so it will simply run my code, and it has created the file called text2.txt, which contains testing, because I have written testing here. So we are done with our creating file with asynchronous way. So the next operation in asynchronous way is reading the file. So in order to read a file in asynchronous way, we have a function called fs.readFile, and it takes first parameter has the file name, which is text.txt. No, it's text2.txt, and the second parameter is encoding type, and the third parameter is callback with the access of data as well as the error. So here encoding is UTF-8, and the callback has access of error and data respectively. So error and data. Yeah, I will use console.log data. Yeah, let's save and run the code. So as you can see here, it's returning me testing, because the content of my text2.txt is tested. If I will write here testing and something, so I will run the code, it's returning me testing 12 because I have written here testing 12 something. So yeah, we have done with our read file operation with asynchronous way. So our next operation is updating a file using asynchronous way. In order to update a file using asynchronous way, we have a function called fs.appendFile, which has an access of which takes three parameters. First, the file name which we want to update, and second, the content of the file, updated content of the file. So I will write testing update. So yeah, and the third parameter is a callback function with the access of error. So let me use console.log error. Yeah, let me save that and let's run the code, and there is no error, so it's returning null, and has not updated the file as well because I have done some error here. So let me check that. Yeah, I have written a wrong file name. I have written test2.txt, but it was text.txt. So yeah, I have written text.txt. It was text. Let me check the error. Yeah, I have written text.txt. It was text2.txt. So let me save that, and yeah, it's returning me null. And why it had not thrown me any error and it has returned null? Because I was having a file called text.txt as well in my directory, so it has not given me any error. But if I would not be having any file called text.txt, it would have thrown me error telling me that, hey, there is no file called text.txt. So yeah, it has updated. Let's check the file, and yeah, it's updating. It has updated. It has added testing update text in my text2.txt file. So we have done with our update file method in FS module. So we have done with our update file method in asynchronous task. So our last operation is deleting the file in asynchronous way. In order to delete a file in asynchronous way, we have a function called fs.unlink. This has an access of, and we have a function called fs.unlink. This takes two parameters. First, the file name which you want to delete, and the second callback having access of error, and I will use console.log error, and I want to delete two files. First is text.txt and the second is text2.txt. so let's run the code. As you can see, it's returning me null two times because I have no error in both of my code. And let me check my file explorer. As you can see here, there is no error. There is no file called text.txt now because it has deleted the files. So that's it for this. So that's done. We have done with our code operation in asynchronous way as well as the synchronous way. In our next video, we will create a web server. So that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching this video. Please like, share and subscribe to my channel, and do hit the bell icon as well.